Are you feeling lost in the chaos of everyday life? Do you find yourself overwhelmed and always chasing after something, or stuck in the past and worried about the future? It's time to pause and ask yourself, are you truly living or just existing? Are you a passenger in your own life, watching the world pass by, but you cannot take part of a happy life? But on the other hand, why some people are so happy and successful? What rules do they follow in their life? In this video, I am telling you 7 lessons of these happy people. If you implement that in your life, you will be able to empty your mind and you will see a new version of yourself within 7 days. Lesson 1. Focus on the present moment. If you're not living in the present, it's like walking with your eyes closed. Sure, you're moving, but you're missing everything around you. You are missing the beauty of life. If you always think about the past and future, yes, you're there, but you are not really living. You are just going through the motions. You are the living dead. Socrates once said, "An unexamined life is not worth living." He's saying that if you're not really looking at the now and living in the now, you are actually not living a life. It's like being a ghost in your own life. So, here's what you've got to do. Look at what's happening around you. Focus on what you can do right now for your life. Live in the present moment. Don't worry about the future, and don't worry about the future, and don't regret the past. Just think about this second. How blessed it is to live. Take challenge. Live adventurous life. Don't be that person who ends up with no story of life. Live now. Make it loud, and make it loud, and make it count. No more someday. Today's your day. Make it big. Make it yours. Lesson 2. Learn to be content. Chasing after more and more is like running on a treadmill and expecting to reach a destination. You're moving, sweating, but you're still in the same spot. You've got so much already, but you're blind to it, and you always look for the next best thing. It's an endless chase, a race with no finish line. You turn into someone who's never satisfied with anything and always hungry for more and more. A wise philosopher, Confucius, once said, "He who is contented is rich." He means that finding satisfaction in what you already have is the real wealth. If you can't see the value in your life today, then you're just chasing after fantasies and missing the real happiness of life. Now, take a good look at your life. Now look at the people around you, the things you own, the experiences you've had. Value them. Find happiness in the ordinary and in the everyday stuff. Escape the trap of wanting more and more. Be thankful for what you have now. That's your treasure. Don't be the one who's always looking, but never finding. Embrace contentment. That's where true joy is. Forget what's next. Your life already has everything. Make it rich. Make it meaningful. Lesson 3. Detach yourself from the material world. Being too attached to material things is like clinging to a sinking ship. You might think they're keeping you afloat, but in reality, they're dragging you down. Your life becomes a cluttered space, filled with things you don't need. You're weighed down and unable to move freely. You become a slave to possessions, and you are always wanting more, but never satisfied. Lao Tzu, an ancient philosopher, wisely said, "Be content with what you have. Rejoice in the way things are." When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. He's telling us that the moment you let go of your attachment to things, you gain the world. You're no longer trapped by your desires for more stuff. So now, look at the things you own. Ask yourself, do they own you? Start letting go. Simplify your life. Free yourself from the chains of materialism. Embrace the freedom that comes with detachment. Don't be the one buried under their own stuff. Let go of the material and discover the vastness of life. It's not about having less. It's about creating space for more and more freedom, more peace and more life. Live light, lie free. That's the path to true happiness. Lesson 4. Accept what you cannot control. Trying to control everything is like trying to catch the wind in your hands. It's futile and exhausting. You spend your energy on things beyond your control, and that leaves you frustrated and drained. Life is unpredictable, and some things are just out of your hands. When you try to control the uncontrollable, you're setting yourself up for endless disappointment. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said it best. We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. He's reminding us that our power lies in our reaction, not in changing the unchangeable. It's about adapting, not resisting. So, recognize what's beyond your control. Let go of everything, what you cannot control of your way. It's like fighting a storm with an umbrella. Instead, focus on how you can respond to life's surprises. Find strength in flexibility. Find peace in acceptance. Don't be the one raging against the tide. Learn to ride the waves. That's where you'll find your power and peace. Embrace life as it comes. Adapt and keep moving forward. That's the key to live a life. Lesson 5. Learn to say no. Always saying yes is like trying to catch every ball thrown at you. Eventually, you're going to drop them all. You become swamped with tasks and responsibilities, and you lose track of your own goals and needs. It's essential to remember that it's okay to let some balls drop, especially if they were never yours to catch in the first place. Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors, once said, "The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything." That's about setting boundaries, knowing your worth, and not overcommitting. It's about choosing quality over quantity, focus over distraction. Here's your action plan. Start valuing your time and energy. Every time you're about to say yes, take a pause. Think, is this worth my time? Does it align with my goals? Don't be afraid to say no. It's not just a word. It's a complete sentence. Saying no doesn't make you selfish. It makes you smart. Be the person who's in control of their time, not a victim of it. Say no more often. It's your right, your choice, your power. Use it wisely. Lesson 6. Stop using too much social media. Constantly scrolling through social media is like drinking toxic and polluted seawater when you're thirsty. The more you consume, the thirstier you become. It's an endless cycle of craving updates, likes, and shares. It leaves you feeling emptier and more dissatisfied. You start living for virtual validation instead of real world experiences. It's a trap of digital illusion, and it is robbing your genuine human connections. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do." If you're always on social media, you're shaping a life that's more about others' lives than your own. It's a life spent in the shadow of other people's highlights and losing sight of your own story. So, here's your wake-up call. Put down the phone. Step away from the screen. Reconnect with the world outside those screens. Meet people face to face, not just through comments and message. Find hobbies that don't need a Wi-Fi connection. Don't be a slave to the screen. Create a life that's worth living offline. Make memories that don't need likes or shares to be valuable. Live a life that's authentically yours, not one curated for social media. Lesson 7. Cut toxic people and spend time with those who uplift you. Keeping toxic people in your life is like walking with stones in your shoes. It's painful and it slows you down. These people create negativity and make your journey harder and harder. They're like weeds in a garden. If you don't remove them, they'll overrun the beautiful plants. You need to recognize who's harmful in your life and bravely decide to let them go. Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "He who fights with monsters should be careful lest he thereby become a monster." Spending time with negative people can start to change you and infect you with their pessimism and bitterness. Slowly, you might become what you've been trying to avoid. So, spot the toxic ones who is constant critics, the endless pessimists, those who pull you down. Cut them out of your life. It's not a selfish act. It's an act of self-protection. Then find people who lift you up, who encourage you, who help you shine. Be with those who see your value and help you grow. Don't be a collector of negativity. Be a cultivator of positive connections. That's how you flourish. That's how you succeed. Now's the time for action. Don't just watch videos and forget. It's your turn to make a promise, a commitment to change. Head to the comments and write, "I will embrace these lessons and transform myself. I will live in the present." Be content. Detach from materialism. Accept what I can't control. Learn to say no. Reduce my social media usage and cut off toxic people. I'm on the path to becoming the best version of myself. We'll be reading your commitments, and the most inspiring ones will be featured on our channel along with your name. Remember to subscribe for more unfiltered and uncensored words, wisdom, and life-changing advice.